All right. So today we have Sahar, and she is going to share a little bit about her success story. One of the really cool things about you, Sahar, is like I've seen this evolution of like we've had these ups and downs and all of the challenges. That's why I really I'm never a person that wants to say, okay, this is the beginning, this is the end. We compare these two side by side because there's so much that goes into that journey, right? From where you started to where you finished. There's so many of these different segues and ups and downs. And so that's why it's important to have you and your perspective and your side of the story. But I was looking back and it's been almost a year and a half, I guess, since we've been
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
together. And just again, like I said, you've made such incredible progress, I believe, down 30 pounds and just such a transformation from even from how you look physically, but I know how you feel as well and all of the different things that you've
Yeah.
implemented as far as changes. So I don't want to be the one doing all the talking, but I would love to hear from your perspective, where,
Yeah.
when you started with this journey, like fill in whoever's listening to this, like share how you were feeling, like what kind of state you were in, like what was it that you were going through when we first talked?
Yeah. I had a lot of like health challenges in 2021. And I had gained a few, I just had gained weight over the years and I had tried a few things. Like I had tried Noom, I had tried Weight Watchers. I had like marginal success with those by myself because I think a lot of people like what to do, but you just don't do it.
Mhm.
And one of my good friends had great success with you, referred me to you. And I really saw how effective, your work with her was. And for me, I think I really just got to a point where I wasn't paying attention to my health. I wasn't paying attention to anything. And I just had this moment like of, I think I had a couple things, but like we started together in July 24. And I just kind of was like, okay, she's doing great. I want to do this. I was more internally motivated than I had been, and I was like, I really need someone to keep me accountable
Mhm.
more so than any of these programs offer. And I think that was the most appealing part of the whole process is it was like, wow, I'm gonna have someone who's dedicated to like looking out for me. So I think that was the most exciting part of it, right? Is to like, yeah, have someone who was really going to be focused on my needs specifically, and just to add, like, you know, when you do the Weight Watchers and the Newman and stuff, like, it's very different in your 40s. I'm almost 50. I'm turning 50 in a couple months, and it's just a totally different approach that you take this older part of like a different part of your life. So having someone who is an expert in that was really good too.
Absolutely. Well, I'd love to hear a little bit about, was there a particular component or piece or anything that was like kind of just pushed you over the edge and just had you going for it?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, I think a couple of things. I think one, it was just like my own physical, like I didn't like how I looked. But I think I've told you about this. Like I had avoided my physical forever, as we always do. And when we
Mhm.
know the doctor is not going to tell you stuff that you want to hear. And I had seen, they wrote that I was obese in my chart. And I think it really resonated with me. I was like, what? This is not who I am. Like, I'm not this
Mhm.
person. And I was really like upset like by that. And so I think that stuck with me, and that combined with my physical, just like you could see it in my face, you could see it in like just my clothes and my clothes and fit and all the things. And I was like, no, we're not going to do this anymore. Like, I'm done with this. Like, I think I got enough. I was fed up enough, and I was really upset about the chart, which, I actually have lost, I guess it's been 30, I think it's 35 pounds total since that
Yeah.
part in July. Um, and so I felt very justified when I went back to the doctor. Because I lost about like 35 pounds in about 10 months. And the funny thing is like the doctor actually was like, is this a mistake? Like the nurse when was putting it, the software
Wow.
was like, is this an error? Because it was such a significant change in just a year. So yeah,
Mhm.
that was a good justification, vilification. I felt much better when I came back. I was like, oh yay, okay, I got it. Got it
Yeah.
to where I wanted to be. So it was not in that obese label. But
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think too, it's important to point out like you were able to achieve that result much quicker than a year and a half. But one of the exciting parts about this is that you've been maintaining your progress
yeah,
for all of this
yeah,
time since then, which is why sometimes I hold off on having those interviews because I want to make sure like you had that experience of what it's like to be in that maintenance mode because that
yeah,
is the toughest part, right? Because you're not
yeah,
getting that
totally.
dopamine from like the results every week. And so it's like now you're really ingrained within living this lifestyle.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I was doing the math. It's been like since April of last year. So it's been about 10, 10 months or so since I've pretty much been the status quo. And I mean, I did want to lose a few more and I was like I finally came to a point where I was like, no, you know what? I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. I'm able to maintain it. But yeah, a lot of it was just like also the education of it and just being able to flex when you need to and things like
Mhm.
that as well.
Yeah. Well, and that
Yeah.
might be a good next question for you, which is
Hmm.
like, what kind of changes did you make in your life? So thinking back to where you were when you first started to where you're at now, how are you living your life differently?
Oh, for sure. I do not, I don't eat out as much as I used to. So that's probably the most immediate thing that comes to mind. Um, I was eating out like when I first met you, I think I was eating out at least 3 or 4 times a week, which was a lot.
Mhm.
And not that you can't do this with like eating out, but it does make it just harder for you, right? So um I still have been able to like incorporate like a couple things a week, but like they're my go-tos. I know I've already researched them and I already know that what I eat. Like I went to Chick-fil-A last night and I had the grilled nuggets and there you go. It's
Mhm.
easy, right? Um, but I would say that I would also say I don't think I was very unknowing of the amount of protein that I needed to eat as a woman in her 40s. And I feel like between, I personally, I aim for 135 grams of protein a day and my 25 grams of fiber and my 59 or 60 ounces of water. And it's like, it's all rote in my head at this point. So I think I definitely did not know how much, like, one, I wasn't educated on. I mean, kind of knew. I was like, okay, the lean meats have protein, but like, there's a lot of different proteins. I've never had so much Greek yogurt and chicken in my life, but there's a lot of different ways to get protein in different ways. And just being more mindful of it and tracking. And that's probably another big thing that I do now that I never really did before is like being mindful and tracking and just keeping, tabs on like, oh, well, this is how I did with all my calories and like I have room for this. And I mean, I'm not perfect. You know that well. Like I veer off a couple
Nobody is.
times, but
Nobody is.
you aim for I mean, even if you can do it most of the week, right? As opposed to the whole week, that's way better than absolutely zero. So that's probably another piece as well.
Yes. And then also strength training.
Yes, yes. So
Yes.
I know it's like eating your vegetables, my strength training. So I do strength training. I aim for twice a week. That's my goal.
Mhm.
And I think the other piece is like trying to make it a regular part of my routine. So like, we recently talked about like, okay, my kids are going to work out. I have 13 and 16-year-old boys. My 16-year-old goes and works out Tuesdays and Thursdays. So like, if he's doing it, I can do it too. So
Mhm.
like that strategy of pairing and being like, oh, well, if he's doing it, I can do it. And then like, if I can do one more on the weekend, that's even better. That's like a bonus time. And then also walking. So I
Yep.
think I was also um was pretty inconsistent with my walking before. And I think
Mhm.
just being really focused of like, okay, I just need 7,500 steps a day. That's what works for me. And so being able to try to get that in every day. And I feel like I've I have really learned to love it because I can find that walking is also a very like meditative time for me. Like I can
Mhm.
just it's just me. I mean, I can talk, I can do absolutely whatever I want. I can listen to music, I can talk to people, I can not talk to people. And as long as I have that period, I've discovered mall walking, which is which is I'm there with all the 7-year-olds at 7 a.m. and it's really quite nice. It's empty and it's very peaceful. But yeah, trying to incorporate that as well. And have that movement is also a really big piece as well. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, all these components, which you taught right in your 12-week program, um, very gradually, but they do come very naturally if with the habit that you build over time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think too, just, leaning into the things that help you feel your best. Like one of the comments you had made was about like eating out less, but also what I've learned from you is that you felt better, like physically
Yeah.
when you shifted your diet away from that. So once you learned how to like prioritize that more of the at home eating, not only was it easier, but it also made you feel better.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a big part of it, which I think for me was a big learning, was to be more conscientious about it. Like
Mhm.
the eating out usually consisted of a social activity. So like
Yeah.
you can still be social with people and talk to them, but have like a glass of water or a Diet Coke or whatever, you can
Mhm.
still, think ahead. Like my kids play baseball. Like I can think ahead and be like, I'm just going to bring myself a sandwich that I pack ahead of time as opposed to going to the concession stand and it's the same experience. I'm still around the people. They don't care what I eat. Like it makes no impact to them.
Mhm.
So being able to just be more mindful of it, but still enjoy the experience, helps a lot. That kind of reframing is really important to examine.
Yeah. And I think too, you don't necessarily feel like you're being cheated or like it's less of an experience. It's just a shift of how to experience it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, even things like, I mean, and it's also like paying attention, like you said, like a great example is like, after a game, we'd all get like a Papa John's pizza. Well, have you ever thought about like how you feel after you eat like Papa John's pizza? Your stomach does not actually feel that good. And I'm like, that was not worth it. Like that's just like, you know,
Mhm.
and I think it's also being able to like save for when you want to indulge, that is okay
Yeah.
too. But like make it worth it when you want to indulge, like be strategic about it, right? Like if I'm
Mhm.
going out to a really nice dinner with my husband, I am going to plan as much as I can, like in the earlier part of the day, I'll just be lighter in certain areas so I can really enjoy myself in the evening, right? That's a different mentality than just, I went out and I had Papa John's pizza. It's not the same. It's just not the same. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, but still
Yeah.
calorie wise, it's that's part is relevant, but not the necessarily how you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yes. So that would bring me to my next question, which is what do you feel like the biggest impact has been for you within this journey, this program, like, and just kind of share about what that's like.
Sure. Well, I mean, for me, obviously, I mean, physically, I lost, 35 pounds. So, I mean, that's the most immediate thing. And it's funny when people, I mean, I was not expecting, like I get really positive reactions. Obviously, people love it when they're like, "Holy crap, what happened to you?" And and like in a good way, obviously. And it's such a like that external validation. I never knew how much fun that could be because I was like, oh, that doesn't, it just hasn't happened so significantly for me.
Yeah.
And then, but I think more important than your like the physical piece of it, of like my body, is like my health as well. So, I went back to the doctor and I'm great with my cholesterol for the most part. Like I am, I have all the greens in the middle line if you look at your chart, and just being more aware and I think in control of my own health, right? So you gave me great advice on supplements as well, which I would have never, that was like just I was being like I just never thought about it before. Or, I'm in the stage of perimenopause and being able to think about hormones and okay, well, go ahead and get your labs checked. And how do these things affect your body? Because your body is one holistic piece that works together, and all these things
Mhm.
work together, right? So, really just having a tighter control and like awareness of my health, I think just, one that makes me feel get better too. It's also like for my family, I'll be here longer. And then, I mean, as you say, like the more strength training you do as well, it's kind of like eating your vegetables throughout your life. Like you want to strengthen your muscles and your bones and etc. Like as you get older, I have older parents, I see what they're going through. I don't want to go through that kind of thing. I would like to not do that. I mean, nothing wrong with them, but just having that strength is
Mhm.
is something that is really a long-term health goal that you can take advantage of, which is really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you've got an active family, and you
Yes.
want to be able to keep up with them and have fun with them for many, many years to come.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny when I started this journey, like when I started, I mean, back in 2024, I would go walking with a friend for an hour and I could do half an hour, no biggie, but I would come back after an hour and I would like be crampy and like need to lie down. Not that I was like exhausted from it,
Yeah.
but I was like, what? I mean, I just hadn't used my body in that way. And now, I mean, like here I am, I'm like, I was shoveling the snow like everybody, like a boss, just like, picking up stuff
Love
and,
it.
feeling very strong with my body, which is like super empowering, right? So, I can walk and go hiking and my kids are super active in sports. So like, being able to keep up with them and actually giving them some tips with protein and stuff, which is hilarious. Um, and when we're all comparing weights and stuff like that at home. So yeah, it's
It's
all
all
part of the
fun.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, one more question for you.
Sure.
So, for any woman who's out there listening to this and, she's thinking about investing in her health and her fitness, maybe, things are changing her body, what would you tell that woman listening who's like maybe hesitating a little bit to put in the time and the effort and the investment?
I mean, it's definitely worth it. I would say no one's ever going to prioritize you like you, like in general, right? Like no one's ever going to, I mean, as much as people love you, you're the only person that can take care of yourself at the end of the day. And so just making sure that yes, it is not easy work. It is a pain to track. I mean, like it just takes time, right? Like
Mhm.
you have to track, you have to, make sure you're on top of things, you're eating all the protein and the fiber and getting walking, whatever, all the stuff. But it is worth it at the end. Like it is definitely worth it. And I think I would tell that person to examine like, well, what is your hesitation? And if you think about the fact that you can probably carve out a little bit of time to focus on this compared to your entire day, it's probably worth it, right? Like at the end of the day, like your health is one of the things that makes you exist and alive. So why wouldn't you invest that? Um, but yeah, I mean, I think also the other reason I would just one other thing I would say is like people get really overwhelmed when you think, oh my God, I have to do all these things at once. And I will say one of the things that worked really well, specifically with your program, is that you do things in very small baby steps. Like you do not overwhelm a person with this program, which I think um, for me, like, the first week was just tracking. It was like,
Mhm.
that's all I had to do. I didn't even have to change anything I was eating. I just had to track, right? Like, learn the app. That's it, right? And so the more you can break things in little pieces and create habits, and I know you adjust it for all your clients because if someone is having a hard time, you want to make sure it sticks with them before they move on, right? So I would say also don't be overwhelmed. It will be very manageable to handle because certainly with you, I don't know about other people, but you will like make it so that it's manageable for the person so that they are successful. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say go for it. Do it. You're worth it.
Yes, I love that. Well, and I'm glad that you can pull out that piece of the small steps because,
Mm.
you know, I'm a busy mom. You're a busy mom. Like that's who I work with, and I understand how much you have on your plate. And, we
Yeah.
all want to feel successful, and especially when somebody is working towards a goal. And like you said, like it's not easy, right? This does take time, but when you look at it compared to your full day, like the percentage wise, right, it's worth it to be able to
Yeah.
advance yourself to help you feel better. Everything, almost everything is hard, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's life is tough. And so it's like, what hard are you choosing, right?
Yeah, I don't have I usually drink out of it, but you did give me a mug at some point that said, "Life is tough, but you were tough, my dear." Like, I
Yeah,
mean, it's one of my favorite mugs. But yeah, and I would just say one last thing is like to give yourself a lot of grace, which I think you do. I'm always like, oh, okay, it's fine. Like,
yeah.
and to remind because I think women especially, we tend to be these like perfectionist people and we
Mhm.
put such hard expectations on ourselves. So, give yourself the grace that you are learning it's like learning a new language, right? You're
It
just
is.
learning a little bit. And so give yourself that grace to learn and take it step by step and it won't be as bad as you think it will be. So,
Absolutely. No, you nailed so many incredible points, which I knew you would because you have been at this for quite a while and or not, I mean,
yeah.
not even that long, but just, that's really the beauty of like when you practice these skills, it just becomes part of who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm so excited to see you continue to make progress. And
Thanks.
thank you so much for sharing about your journey, your story. I know it's going to inspire so many women. So thank you very, very much. And
Anytime. Yeah, my pleasure.
yeah,
I hope someone listens and
I
it's
hope so
helpful.
too. Me
So,
too. Yes. And of
yeah.
course, it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you as well. I've just
Oh, wait,
enjoyed it so
my
much.
pleasure is mine. It's mine. I think it goes both ways,
Yes,
obviously.
yes, good. Well, thank you
Cool.
again. And we will get this recording out so everybody can listen in.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Sahar.
Bye. All right,
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye.